Get in here. Oh, God. You turn me on. I was supposed to do that, Cameron. So we just and make it shorter and more relevant to the time at the season we're in. So I want to do this every 3 months. So we'll do a fall, winter, spring, summer edition, if you want to call it that. Sort of update you on what's going on, because to be honest, what's going on, we have a lot of new folks every day. Faces in here today, not only faces at KUB, and so the information, I want to get it out faster and quicker, make sure we're talking and having communications back and forth about things. And also just give you kind of where we're at on certain things. It'll change each quarter. So today will be a different agenda than it will be in the winter and spring. But my commitment is clear. Communication is critical. We hear it all the time. I don't know what's going on. Or I wish I knew more. And so my commitment to you and the company is that we talk more and have this kind of dialogue and have these kind of open forums, if you want to call it, some type of thing. So I'll give you a lot of information today, throw a lot of stuff at you, and then we'll come together in December. Like I said, sometime about March-ish, we'll do it again. So that's kind of the game plan. And you see pictures there of the recent event. I'll talk about that later. Lovely smiling faces and having a good time. Lots of orange. Lots of other colors too, but lots of orange. Having a good time at our United Way event. So that was a great time to be had. So appreciate that. Our agenda today is pretty easy. I want to talk about last fiscal year, which just ended. So we just finished up fiscal year 20 into fiscal year 20. And so I'll give you a little bit of how we did, which was great. A little bit of preview of next year and things like that. So that's kind of the agenda for the day. And I'll talk a little bit more detail about some of these things. I'll hit them pretty quick. We hired 133 new employees over this last 12 months. So a lot of new faces at KUB. Come from all different backgrounds, experiences. It's pretty awesome to see. A little bit about just as far as our rates and our customers. We were able to eliminate a wastewater rate increase, which was critical for our customers. As you know, COVID is, quote, not ever over, I guess, but at least we've gotten past the worst of it. A lot of our folks have really struggled, so we were able to defer a wastewater rate increase for a second year to help keep those costs as reasonable as we can. We were able to reduce our water rate increase. We cut it down by 2 points, so we could make that rate increase as little as possible, but we need to maintain a strong water system, and so we need something. So that was big. Strong operational performance, I'll talk about that in a minute. We do a lot of things every day. We have 1,000+ employees working really hard at this company doing all kinds of things. And operationally, we did a phenomenal job this year. I want to say thank you for that later on. We created our fiber division. So I talked about that 3 months ago. We're now in the throes of it. I talked to some of our folks. Their tongues are hanging out, and that's a good thing. We're going pretty fast in that division and creating a whole new utility as we speak. And then we also closed out a huge project and a huge initiative, the Biologically Enhanced High Rate Clarification, BEHRC, which was the largest project at the time in the history of KUB down to our wastewater plant. Finished that thing up, checked off the last major project of our consent decree, and we have now closed it. And I know for some of you that have been here a long time, we never thought this day would come or this year would come. And we were able to close out a major, I call it a burden, but it was a major initiative by the EPA to get us to do that. What I want to say about that a little bit is we were the first to ever close out a consent decree, obviously, in my book. I didn't say that, but the fact that it took them forever to figure out how to do it, and they were asking us questions about it, told us how hard it was, how rare that is for someone to actually get past a consent decree. So thank you to all of you for the many years of efforts to get that done, and it was a monumental task, to say the least. But we are done, and we are now free and clear, per se, of that. So. And then we have a new logo. I introduced that 3 months ago with our fiber marketing team, and they did a great job. There's the logo. We're starting to put it out in everything we wear and everything we have. Our trucks are starting to get rebranded, if you'll call it that. And so over the next year or two, you'll see new stuff coming out. And then new ways of advertising and using that. So first new logo in over 30 years. And so there's a change there, you know, a kind of a neat change. I've enjoyed watching the folks who think this way do their thing, because that's not my brain at all. So it's pretty cool stuff there. Corporate metrics, I talked about that. We hit a bunch of them. You know, financially, we did a great job. It's been a tough, as you all know, a tough last couple of years, especially now with the supply chain issues. It's hard to plan projects and plan work when you can't get stuff. And so we've had a lot of challenges there, but you all have done a great job of doing your best guesses, given the market we're in, and in reforecasting. So we hit all our financial metrics this year, and we continue to keep monitoring that. I hope things are getting better. I see certain segments of the things getting better, but then others, I haven't seen any improvement, so I'm not sure what we're doing as far as the industry, not us, what's going on. I saw yesterday transformers are still very, very hard to get. We're actually having to ration them somewhat, kind of keep an eye on the numbers, which is crazy. One of our core things we have to have, but other things are getting a little better. The prices are still high, but at least they're starting to come in a little bit. On the safety side, we did not achieve that. We had 2 serious preventable accidents this year, and I want us to focus on the fact it wasn't just a number we're trying to hit there. It's about people. And you all know I talk about this a lot. From a safety point of view, I don't want anybody to ever get hurt. I mean, it's just things out there. If you want to know what keeps me up at night, it's safety. We have come so long away from what we were 15 years ago to today. And I know everybody cares about it, but we got to keep vigilant. We got to keep focused on that. It's the most important thing we do. And I just want to ask you to continue what you've been doing and then take it up a notch if you can, because we don't want to have these folks are okay now, but they're very serious injuries, kind of things you don't ever want to see. And I just want to say that's the most important thing that I worry about, and I want you to focus on. And I appreciate where we're headed and what you're doing to make sure that's the things we prevent. I love the phrase, if you see something, say something. That applies here every day, everything we do, no matter what position you're in, no matter what job you have. I'm a big passionate about that, and ask you to do the same. So keep that up, keep people safe. If you see a coworker getting near something they shouldn't be, just stop them. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Reliability, we hit our metrics. That was amazing, because last year was a crazy year of weather. So we did that. It was close, but we got there. And this next year is going to be even more challenging, because July was, as you all know, a horrible month for weather-wise. We've off to a, quote, bad start. Mother Nature dealt us about 15 blows in about 20 days, it felt like. And we were making improvements to our system every day to get that number better. But it's just sometimes, it's the nature of the beast. I was talking to some of the guys in overhead. We've had a pole hit every day, it feels like, for the last 3-4 weeks, or at least months. It's I don't know what's going on with people, but they're just knocking our poles down, which creates more outages that we really can't stop, per se. So part of that's just what we got to be aware of and respond as fast as we can. Century 2, that's all of our utilities: water, gas, sewer, electric, pipes replacement, pump station replacements, rehab and refurbish our plants, substation upgrades, all those things. Y'all did a great job. Once again, we had lots of challenges last year with getting stuff in. You all appropriately found other things to keep us busy, to do other projects, move one up, move one back, all those things to do to keep things rolling. And I really appreciate that, because if you see what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, for instance, with all the issues with lack of water, a fundamental thing you have to have, and we are doing a great job of making sure we never have that happen here in Knoxville. And it's because of you all doing what you do and raising your hand when you see something and fixing it when it needs to be fixed before it breaks, whatever, and maintaining our system. So thank you for that. That's huge for us and our customers. And of course, we had lots of special projects. I mentioned the BEHRC, but there's all kinds of unique projects that we're doing, whether it be initiatives or programs or new software rollouts. All those are important. And you all hit them all. You knocked them out of the park. And so I really want to say thank you for that. Like I said, despite all the challenges, we've overcome them to some degree and adjusted accordingly. And once again, next year will be the same thing, I think. Beyond just those metrics that our board sees, we also had a couple key, I'd say 3 key initiatives. One was our fiber deployment. I mentioned that and have a few slides about the fiber deployment, where it's at. Also our DEI initiatives. I'm a huge fan. I'm just passionate about inclusion. I want everybody to be a part of this KUB family and be, no matter what your background, what your experiences are, you're part of us. And I really believe in that. And that's what that's about. It's fundamentally about that. And so we'll talk a lot about that today. And the workforce investments, things we're trying to do to make sure we retain, attract, hire, keep you all happy, make sure we do things to make sure we're retaining a great workforce that we've always had. And I'll talk about that at the end. I think once again, some good pictures there, some things going on at KUB, and getting our fiber rolled out and some other initiatives there. So fiber deployment update. So we are a new customer and billing system's up and running. In fact, I will talk about it. It's going to be tested here shortly in real time, like literally this next week. And so it's great. Our new customer service center is up and running. Some of you are sitting in here. And so that's a new, that's different than our traditional call center because we're going to keep it separate for a little while at least because it's a different need. It's a fiber, it's a choice in the truest sense, and it's all a little bit of marketing. And so that's up and running now. We've been training on that for months, and it's ready to go. And as you will see, we have 240 customers actually using our internet as a pilot. They have been great to work with. They have been great to give us feedback because we are learning as we speak. The phrase that Jamie uses a lot is we're trying to crawl before we walk, before we run. So I hope we're getting close to the walking phase of that, but we are trying to get good at this. And those folks have been great to say, hey, this is great. This could be done better. I'll talk about that in a slide or so. But it's been great for us to kind of get our, quote, feet wet and get up to speed on that fiber deployment. And the folks love our product. One day have just, you'll see in a minute. It's been great, and so it's been a neat thing. It's gone out in East Knoxville. We call it our Mohawk area, but it's East Knoxville off Riverside Drive area, and those roads that come off of Riverside Drive. And so we're moving along pretty quickly in that area. You'll see the new signs we put out. Advertising is part of that now. And I'm getting hit up constantly about when's it coming to my house. I mean, every day, people are just wearing me out in a good way, saying, I'm in phase 1. What does that mean? How soon? I'm thinking it's soon enough, but they really want our product, and it's really great stuff. So it's great to see that, and I'm really excited about it. As I mentioned before, we've gotten feedback. As you'll see, 94% of our folks they're very satisfied or very satisfied with our product. 6% said they were neither, and then we had nobody in what I call the bad categories, the orange and yellow, which is dissatisfied or very dissatisfied. As you saw in the weekly meter, it came out yesterday. I met with one of our first customers and talked to her about her husband about their experience. It's been phenomenal. They told me things I never thought of, like he's in law school, she's working full time. They before now could never work together at the same time because their internet bandwidth was so low. When she was on doing live Zooms or he's doing class, they would shut down. Now they can work nonstop, unlimited, never miss a beat. And the experience was phenomenal. They had a great experience. The technology's there. So it's just neat to hear that firsthand. I got to ask her lots of questions about it, and it's just a good thing. It's great. I'm so excited about it. What's next? As you see, I mentioned the area there towards in the yellows are the first 2 areas we hit. The East Knox, Mohawk area. The next one we're really working hard in is called the Arlington area, which is up Broadway, east of Central, below Cedar Lane. It's where we're really targeting next to be going at any point now. And so we'll have 11,500 customers that in theory can have service very, very soon. So once we kind of roll out, it's officially available, the phones will light up, in a good way. And so we'll have to start scheduling work and getting out there and putting those customers in service for the internet and whatever. I mentioned earlier with TV and phones being tested now. Hopefully get that up and rolling so they have the triple play for those folks who want to keep a TV and a phone line. And so that's on the verge of being up and running, and that'll be when we get that going, that's really the impetus of us getting really rolling. And so that's a big initiative for us. And so find it very fascinating. I get updates all the time from the folks in fiber, the technology, the redundant feeds, the TV and the phone, how it works. It's very amazing to me. I know it's all over the fiber, but the technology behind it's amazing. So they're doing a lot of great work in a short amount of time. By the end of 2023, we'll have 14,000 more customers that will pass. So 25,000 customers could be in service if they want to choose us in that first year, which is pretty amazing and daunting at the same time. It's awesome, but it's a lot of work to think about that. And if you are interested, we are now offering for a few months a snack and chat, where some of the folks in fiber actually talk about some of the details of it, and you can ask questions. It's kind of a neat little idea. I thought it was a wonderful idea. And you kind of, the idea is that you kind of become versed in it. So that if you have a neighbor, friend, cousin, whatever, that says, hey, what's this about? You have some kind of back pocket information that you can share. Kind of be our marketing from the inside out. And so if you can attend those, great. They try to advertise them all the time. They're great little sessions, pretty short, but they're very informative about the fiber products and the rollout. And of course, tell all your friends. I think they're telling me, but tell them too. So. And we got a great thing on the website about, if you want to look at where your address is at, it'll tell you where you're at in theory, kind of if you're in the first year or not. So point them to that direction, and they can then sign up for updates. That's the way I'd say to go with that. That's been very successful. So another thing that I'm learning is all about commercials and advertising. So you're getting to see one of our very first commercials. It has not been released yet. I don't think I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks away from going out to the public. I've had a blast because I don't have that mindset of a marketing type person. When I see this stuff, I laugh and I think this is awesome. So we've had Tombras locally has been an awesome partner to kind of getting our brand, if you want to call it, out there. And so you would see a first cut of this commercial, which I think is just wonderful. And so I'm gonna get this thing rolling if I don't mess it up. So here it goes.
Dad, what was it like before KUB Fiber?
Well, there was fiber internet, but it wasn't always fast. If you wanted to download a game or a movie, well, you just have to wait for it.
Wait for it?
Honey, you're scaring him.
Say goodbye to waiting and say hello to KUB Fiber. True gig speed for just $65 a month. It's the world's fastest internet, right here in East Tennessee. Only from KUB.
Pretty cool. It's not some homemade commercial. Obviously, professionals have done this. It's awesome. I'm so excited about it. There's a whole bunch more coming. You'll start seeing, like I said, mid to late October, or mid to late October, that will start rolling out. That's something that we've never done in the history of KUB. The few commercials that have gone out about our reliability and about our utilities, people are like, what are you doing? Why are you advertising? It's because we're trying to get our name out there more. We've taken it for granted. People have known us as the people that give you a bill every month, but we're better than that. And so, we want to talk about the things we do behind the scenes. And so we'll be doing a lot of commercials, a lot of talking about our who we are and what we do, and really shout out to you all, the people that make it happen. So this is new territory, but it's also the business we're going to be in for the next, forever. And so as you see these commercials, we're trying to find things that are, drive people crazy and try to tag on that. There's some great ones coming out in the next few months that are just really brilliant. Not naming other people, but you kind of imply who you're going against, kind of thing. So I won't say any names, but it rhymes with almost. So, and what's I mentioned this before, and we kicked it off. We're about the fastest, friendliest, and for all. It goes back to world's fastest speeds. Obviously, you all make the friendliest happen. I say that all the time. People love talking to you all. You are the faces of KUB. Don't want to change that. You all just keep doing what you're doing. They really respect you and enjoy when you come to their houses and do their thing. You do your thing. And obviously, it's for all. Anybody has an electric meter, in theory, you'll have the same service, same costs. I've always said, no matter where you live, whether it be in Washburn, Tennessee, or if you live in downtown Knoxville, it's $65 a gig up, gig down. It's the same. There is no, territorial, faster, better because you live somewhere else. That's huge. That's a game changer for our community. The folks that live in rural parts of the county and other counties they're just clamoring because they've had either nothing or very, very, very slow speeds, and this is a game changer for their lives. And so we can't get there fast enough for those folks, especially. Switching gears to DEI, I mentioned earlier, that's one of the things, inclusion, diversity, equity, huge, important part of KUB's culture. This is a really busy slide. I'll just focus really on the orange is recruiting. How do we bring people in? The blue is what's your experience here when you get here? And then, the gray is how do we keep training and talk about these things and learning and just being open and honest and transparent and just, being vulnerable to some degree. And so those are really big boxes, a lot of stuff in there, but I want to talk about the fact that we've hired 133 new people at KUB. Like I mentioned earlier in the first slide, 133 new faces at KUB. And that pace is going to get faster. There's there's probably 100 positions open right now at KUB at different phases. And so that's only going to change. So that's a great thing. I'm excited about that. I've met a lot of new folks in the last few weeks. I try to go to every new employee orientation to learn faces and names. And it's really exciting because they're coming from all different backgrounds, experiences, companies, things we never had at KUB to some degree, bringing into our fold. And so just having that diversity of folks is just awesome. But also bringing them in and let's just how do we figure out how to take that and grow from that. It's really what I'm about. So we are doing a lot of the things. The onboarding experience is different. I make the joke every time when I came to KUB, they sit me down, said sign these 4 papers and go to work. And I was lost by the first month here. I didn't know what I was doing, where I was going, didn't know where my job was at. It was just different. And now we try to do an onboarding experience. We give you the education, the training, the forums. Deanna and her group does a great job of getting you enough exposure to you can ask the right questions, and it's a wonderful experience. It's just a lot different than when I came on to KUB, and I appreciate that experience. We do surveys now to ask how it's going, so I get some feedback. Feedback's critical to us, and so we try to get things, and if we find something we're not doing well, we'll do it better and tweak it. But I will say that experience has been great for our new employees that have come on board. And then, guidance for career development. A lot of folks saying, what's my path? So we're trying to be more deliberate and more intentional about what's your path. I look at faces in this room, and I see a lot of faces that started at one place and have been 3 others since then, and have grown throughout KUB and found new opportunities. That's awesome. That's what we're here about. I always kid, if you're somewhere for very long, it's kind of surprising anymore, because the opportunity to go and work in other departments and other divisions is pretty awesome. And so part of that's your growth and having a new experience at KUB. And education and training. We talk about training it and making sure we have the tools in our tool bag per se, and making sure we're exposed to things. So we're bringing in, Tanisha and Amy are doing a phenomenal job of training. And so there'll be a lot of training coming up. If you haven't been asked to go to one, you're going to be shortly being asked to attend those sessions. I've been to already 3 or 4. Sorry, get my microphone. I already been 3 or 4, so I'm attending everything you're attending, because it's important to me to be a part of that, and it's important for me to keep learning also. We all need to continue learning. And so it's been great. It's been eye-opening. It's been real, and that's what it's all about. It's also just, being aware. It's just what we don't know, and we have to train on that. And just being exposed to that has been awesome. And so they are doing a great job, and we're looking for things like that. We have been trained. All of us have been trained up to this point through 3 or 4 classes. We're now working our way through the manager, supervisor, and now to everybody else in the company. So a lot of training over the next year to be done. And I want you to be fully engaged. Come in, not just, the word vulnerable is the key word I use, is come in, you don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, I promise you that. None of us do. We sometimes wish we did, we don't. Come in just willing to learn and listen and be experienced. That's what I've learned to be more valuable than anything. I'm here to learn. I'm wide open, and I do gather a lot of things, and they make it fun. It's not just sit down and be trained. It's actually interactive, get up, move, fun stuff, so you don't just, drone. We don't have that whole, you're being lectured to kind of mentality. So enjoy that, ask good questions, raise your hand, get engaged, get involved, and help each other out a whole lot. Just teamwork is part of that too. Workforce investments. A lot on this slide. It's a really busy slide, so I'll go through it in quite length. So mid-year adjustments, we did a mid-year bonus for every employee at KUB. That's something that's, we thought was needed at the time, especially given the inflationary impacts. The cost of everything has gone up. I don't care what it is. It's expensive or hard to get, both. And so we feel like we need to give some money into our employees' hands so they can get through that time. And then we also did a raise. Something we've never done before either, is give a mid-term raise to everybody. So every one of you should have gotten some bump up in pay on top of the bonus. And that really was a thing. We are listening. We are aware. We care about you. We need you. And so it's very important that we do that. And that was done. That kind of gave us a little bridging I can call that to now PFP. That is going on right as we speak. And so additional raises are coming with PFP. And so we also did a market analysis of salaries to make sure we're competitive, because we want to retain and attract folks. You all are critical to us. And so all that's been adjusted, all that's been inserted. We've done a lot of work. We've spent a lot of hours on this, and it needs to be spent on to make sure we're paying competitively, we're retaining, offering good benefits, a good work experience, a good career, ultimately. And so that is, coming out any time now for you all to hear more about that. Just as far as the benefits side, we didn't increase premiums on medical, which is extremely rare in this world. Trying to hold costs down. Offered, I consider really strong benefits as far as our medical and dental and eyeglass and pharmacy. I would argue that we're one of the top tier programs in the country, and trying to keep those costs down is critical so that you all can take advantage of those services and not hurt your pocketbook. We created that health reimbursement account, HRA, for those of you that make it 80, rule of 80, that you can have that that $50,000 take with you to use for medical costs after KUB. So that's a big initiative we started last year, and folks have already taken advantage of. Some people are retired have already taken advantage of that. So it's working as we speak to this day. And then we hire adjusting PTO. So something we heard last year was you get something every 5 years, except for when you're at 20 years. You kind of skip to 25 years on your hours of PTO you've earned. So that chart, while very busy, basically inserts a new step in this 25-year of steps, an opportunity to earn more PTO. So at 20 years of service, you now will annually accrue 252 hours of service. So that's a new thing. It will start January 23rd of 2023, so in 3-4 months. So if you're in that new window of 24 years, you will actually get a bump up in PTO than you normally would have gotten. And so that's a new initiative where you just basically filling all the gaps. Every 5 years, you get more PTO. That's the short answer to the what's going on there. And so trying to make sure you have that work-life balance. I'm a huge fan of that too. Get away, enjoy, take a break, go see UT football, get stressed out, come back to work, whatever it takes. All that, do something fun, don't watch football games, whatever, go fishing, go hiking, whatever your thing is. But get away and have your break from this place and have a time to recharge and spend time with your family or whatever you like to do. So that's a real critical, real important part of who we are too. So, but the bottom line is we really care. We really deeply care about you, what you do. We need you. We appreciate what you do. Everybody's got unique gifts and talents and roles at KUB, and we want to make sure you're happy. We keep you happy. Folks leave for different reasons. We have a lot of retirements. We also have people look for better opportunities. That's going to happen. I want to keep the best I can here at KUB every day. And so we're looking for things all the time to make that experience better and pay better. And ultimately, if PTO benefits, whatever the package is, and really try to retain those who are here, because you all are you'll be training those next folks next week, next month, next year, as you all become the seasoned employees at some point really quickly. And so, the interesting times. Welcome back, United Way. A lot of people have no idea I didn't realize how many folks we had hired in the last 3 years. It's a lot, 300 plus. Almost 400 employees are within the last 3 years. So when I kept talking about United Way, they gave me this puzzled look on their face, like, what's United Way? What's this big, I know what it is, but what's this big event thing we talk about? And so we actually had our kickoff last Thursday. I was out of town, unfortunately, so I missed the kickoff, which it really bothered me because I love that event, and so I missed it. But I heard all the things, saw all the pictures in the weekly meter yesterday. I went through every picture and laughed because it's just you're always it's random photos that get you at the right moment. And so it was a great event, good kickoff. Over the next 6 weeks, you'll have a chance to do some agency tours, or agency directors can come in and see us and talk to us about what they do. Because there's so much that I didn't know about United Way when I came to KUB, how much it touches all of our folks at KUB and all the different things they support. I'm a big fan of it because it does help a lot of Knoxvillians and surrounding counties. And so it's just educating you on it, making you aware of what it is. It's your choice to give or not. I'm a big firm believer of it and a big supporter of them, but ultimately it's your choice. But we want to make sure you understand who they are and what they do, and we want to support that agency. They have 40 plus utility charities that work under them that do a lot of work in Knoxville, a lot of work. And you'll hear from a lot of your coworkers who are actually getting firsthand experiences because they're being helped by them. And so it's one of those things you don't know about till you need it, and when you need it, and they do a great job, those agencies. But we have fun doing it. That's that goal, is to enjoy it and have a good time. Looking forward to the celebration on October 27th. We are having the opportunity to dress up. You can choose to do that or not. I will be dressed up. I love to dress up. It's a weird thing about me that it's just who I am. There are pictures that circulate in the past that I wish I'd never done, but that's, to be honest, I can't take that back, and regrets are what they are. But I do enjoy what I did enjoy being, out of character, if you want to call it, or in character in some cases. But it's a way to have fun. It really is. It's to me, it's breaking down. People think they think about anybody, whether it be me or somebody else, they have this picture in their mind. I like that sort of destroys all that at one moment. It's fun. We laugh. We have a good time. The shed's a great location because it's if it's covered, if it has bad weather. The food's good. The camaraderie's great. And we've raised some funds for United Way along the way. So looking forward to that. I'm not telling anybody what my costume is because I'm working diligently on it. It is a secret even to my senior staff. So they have no idea. I'm really coming out big this year. So been working on it for 3 years in theory. So it'll be appropriate, I promise. That's all I can say about that. Once again, I love the jerseys. I saw some Yankee jerseys. I saw some Raven jerseys. I saw some Giants jerseys in those pictures. Lots of UT, obviously. Some of the high schools here locally, Alcoa, Tornadoes. And so it was good to have kind of a tailgate effect for that first event. And it goes back to what we are. We say this a lot. We participate in the communities we serve. That's important to me, important to this company. We give back in those ways, whether it be time, talents, our monies. all the above. One thing you'll hear this year also is a week of service. We started that in our about 75th anniversary. Gosh, it's been a few years now. And that was such a big success. Like, we need to bring that back. Given that COVID's it is what it is, we can now do things like this. So we're going to have a whole lot of local nonprofits that'll be opening up their doors literally that week for us to volunteer if we want. You can use your vol time for that. So we're working on a long list. Leslie Hartzell and her folks are working on that list as we speak. And you can choose to do one of those things as a group, as individual, as a team, whatever you want to do. But the idea is that we really give back that week of service to the community we work in, and you find there's something there you'll like. Everybody has different likes and needs. We try to make it wide ranging, and like I said, it's good also if you bring your group with you to kind of build some camaraderie and have a good time. So look forward to that week of service, and then our celebration will kind of wrap it up, and we're kind of put a bow on it and move on to next year. So look forward to seeing you all those events and having a good laugh or two. So looking ahead, fiscal year 23, we're into it. We're rolling. We're continuing our system investments. We have fully funded our Century 2 programs for 10 years. Like I said, we have challenges that are out of our control, but we are still replacing lots of poles, lots of pipe, lots of pumps, maintaining lots of facilities. Everybody in this room has a role in that, regardless of where you think you work. We all have things to do, make sure our systems are running, customer touch points to just actually physically doing the work. And so we will continue to invest in our utilities. It's important we do, and we do a lot of work every day to make sure we maintain that. Continue the growth of the fire division. I will bring you updates every quarter, probably just at least a small update on where we're at, because we got a 7-year build, and so it's going to take a while to get there. So someone's going to be that last customer, unfortunately, but we'll continue to build that out and see how we're doing as far as growth, service, take rate, satisfaction, all those things that we want to measure. Like I mentioned all before, we have 133 new employees last year. It may exceed that this next year. So if you do the math, that's going to be a quarter of our employees will be here in the last 2 years. Once again, not necessarily new to us, not new to the world they work in. It could be all different ages and ranges and experiences. So they're new faces, but so just welcome them in, help them get up to speed quickly. If they have questions, please work with them. That's one thing I emphasize. Our mentorship, if you want to call it that, is phenomenal. Our folks really want to help people become successful. The day I walked in this place 27 years ago, someone's always helped me literally do the next thing. They've never said no. They never said it's not my job. They never said it was something that wasn't important to them. So I want to continue that legacy of bring up the next folks behind us, train those folks. We're a big team-focused company. It's very, very few jobs are done in a silo or by yourself. Continue to do that because, once again, we exist to serve our customers with very affordable, reliable, and safe utilities. That's what we are. Even with the fiber division, that's what we are. Continue to be that. And so, I thank you for what you do. I still get, constantly get letters and emails, and the majority of them are thank yous. They really are. They're not, you get a few complaints. There always will be. But a lot of folks are saying, wow, I talked to a real person. You actually came out and did what you said. Yes, you tore up my yard, but you fixed it back. Those things are real. I mean, they really appreciate that. You said you're going to do, and you respond to this event, whether it be an outage or a water main break or whatever, or took a phone call from a real person. That's awesome. Those are real important to our customers. They recognize that. And so I get, constantly when I'm out, especially out in events, who'll hit me up. And I'm always nervous at first, like, hey, I got to talk to you about something. Oh, no, here he comes. Oh, I want to tell you how great a job you guys did, and da-da-da. And they go, and Joe did this, and Bob did that, and so did this. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. That's what you want to hear. And that's what you all do, and thank you for that. That means a lot to me. And our customers really, really appreciate that. So we got a busy time ahead. I always say, if you're not busy, you're hiding well, and we'll find you eventually. But everybody is working hard. We've got a lot of holes to fill. I do know that. We're working hard. HR is working their tails off to find good candidates. We have found lots of good candidates, but it takes time. They've got a great process. We're trying to streamline it even more to make it quicker, and so that's a work in progress. But the idea is to really find good folks, bring them in. We have the country scene as a whole. It's not just the KUB thing. I know that for a fact. I've got friends in all different walks of life, and it's just the way the world's changed. There's a lot of retirements. Everybody's seeing a lot of retirements. Baby boomers are retiring. Great for them. I had a lot of great parties this last year. And so that number is walking out the door with their years of service and their 401ks fully funded, and they're very happy. And then we've got to replace those folks. But then, like I said before, people are leaving too. So we've got to make sure we retain them first of all, and if we can't, hire some good people behind them to fill that hole. So bear with us as we do that. I know you all know that, and I appreciate that. And we will try to balance those things as we go forward. But once again, you know, unprecedented times somewhat, but at the same time, that's where the old phrase I've heard many times, I repeat quite often, when challenged, that's when you grow. That's when when you get pushed out of your comfort zone, that's when you really figure out things better. And so we're doing that right now. And if there's things we can do better, raise your hand. Bring it up to your supervisor, your manager. Something we need to be doing a little better or differently, or not at all even. Let's talk about it. It's just different times. So I do open that up to you all to do that and think that way. Once again, thank you all for being here this morning. I do plan on going to other sites throughout the next year, so I want to bounce it around to different campuses. Technology-wise, I don't want to freak out my IT folks, so we'll do it very slowly because it is a hard setup to get all this technology set up and taken down. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, but I do want to get to other campuses like Jackson, back to Middlebrook, and things like that. So I'll try to get around and be out and see other folks as we do these Let's Connects every quarter. And if there's things that you all have suggestions or things I can do better, let me know. Let us know. I'm always trying to improve my game a little bit and really give you what you want and need to hear. So that's part of it for me also. So with that, I will shut it down. Thank you all again for what you do. Our customers really do appreciate you a lot. They really sincerely care. We're getting ready to actually jump into a new utility, but we still have 4 very important ones that we have to maintain and do, and we do a great job every day of doing those. And so, we are plenty of opportunities, but you all are up for it, and I know it, and I'm excited to have you all here. So have a great day. Enjoy this little brief taste of fall. It's a teaser, I know, because I know what happens in Knoxville. I've lived here too long. But it's nice to have a little feel of cool air in the morning, like, oh. And I'll close with a safety share. I should have started with that, but I'll close with a safety share. Leaves are starting to fall, which means you got to get your pumpkins out and start. That's not. I'm just kidding. Some people really get crazy about the pumpkins, but the truth is, with all leaves falling, driveways are slick, roads are slick. I live on a small private road. When the leaves come out, it's like being on water. So be careful, be aware. You can't see those when it starts falling quickly. They really get to be dangerous. So keep your eyes open. Be careful driving across that, walking across that, even when it's wet. It's like ice. And so please be careful out there and enjoy the fall weather. We get it, and the rest of the season as we get through this next week. I hope we have a fall. Some years we skip straight to winter. Some years we don't have anything at all. So I wish I was a prognosticator, but I'm not. But I'm hoping for a good fall this year. Thanks for everything you do. I will talk to you all soon. I'll get around. I will see you October 27th in costume. We'll see who's got the best. We'll go from there. No contest involved, but personally, I keep track. No, I'm kidding. And so I look forward to that and have a good time. Enjoy it. Enjoy the times. And if you have any questions, let us know, and I'll talk to you soon. So thank you all very much. Thank you.